Yeah, and just for your niche, we're gonna make it super interactive.
Nobody. That was a sheet from the last
That's
word.
fine. You can open it.
Yeah, Shura's gonna get a pair of scissors or something.
Okay,
I'll
just
try
try it.
to bring you back in.
Okay. I'm gonna give you the rest of it. These are the rods.
Yeah, I know.
One minute. Who has that signing back? Oh, okay. Slide out. Okay, yeah. If you Okay, guys, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's trip. Okay, so hi, I'm Roma. As people are coming in, feel free to sit anywhere. If you wanna, hopefully you guys can all see the board. If not, I'll like move it more into the center. And as people come in, I'll talk to them. Okay, so we're gonna learn about DMs, and I want my goal for everyone in here is to book a sales call. I would love for all of you to book a sales call before you leave the room, but I'll also take if It's happened before. Like this workshop, you guys are all really great. This is usually a very small, intimate workshop because people are scared of the DMs. They think it's sleazy, they think it's salesy. So everyone in here is super open-minded. There you go. Everyone in here is usually super open-minded and willing to change their businesses and do something different. So that's what I'm going to teach you guys today. Hi, feel free to sit down. Okay, so I want to say that I'm actually going to have a little bit of a competition with you guys. I talked to the hotel and they gave me a couple breakfast vouchers. So anyone that can book, whoever's the fastest to book a sales call gets free breakfast tomorrow. So I'm going to teach you my method.
Look at her.
Yeah.
Getting the stakes
Yeah,
high.
I'm like, whoever books the sales call first gets free breakfast tomorrow.
That bagel is
And then-
mine.
Oh, you're fine. And then we're recording in the back, so DL's not recording any of the sessions, but I am, so you're gonna get the free live recording. Just make sure you sign in. Did anyone else sign in? Okay. So make sure you sign in. There's something magical about in-person speaking because you get results in the room versus just watching a recording. So this is called 770K with DMs, triple your sales calls.
I know that's right.
Yeah. I have made this much money, I think, in about 4.5 years, just from the DMs. I've still never gone viral, and that is by design. So let me sit down and tell you my story. Okay. So the DMs are not just something that's sleazy to me. There was a time in my life where I was in a really dangerous situation, to the point where I had to almost file a restraining order. I was 1,000 miles away from home. I was even thinking of a name change. And I didn't want to be found. And on the flip side of that, because I moved, I needed a new job, I moved to Florida, and my boss was also super nosy. And our company was quite conservative. So if they found out you had a social media profile, you were probably gonna get fired. So I was dealing with two things. I didn't want this person to find me, and I didn't want my boss to fire me. Where's my 9 to 5 income? So DMs are personal to me because I couldn't go viral. If If I went viral, I was putting my safety at risk and I was putting my income at risk. So I haven't told this story publicly. You won't find it on my Instagram because it's so personal to me. But DMs are such a safe space for me, and even if you're not in my situation or you're not dealing with any of that, I want you to think about all your leads that are dealing with very private things. So feel free to vote more than once, but who here is a life coach? Okay, a money coach, a relationship coach, marriage, motherhood, a business coach. Okay, did I miss anyone? Career, sex. Yeah, anything else? Career, sex, fitness, wellness, I'm looking, weight loss. So all of you are dealing with really personal things. And when you ask your clients to perform their pain in public, to leave a comment on your Instagram or like your post, suddenly they might want a divorce and their husband's following them on Instagram. Or they're embarrassed about money and they're liking your post about being in debt. You're expecting them to perform their pain in public, which is unfair. And the biggest thing I'll say is you want to create safety and interest. And that can't happen if you're expecting people to say like, comment sex if I have sex problems. Comment sex. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to them at all. Oh, you come here to take a seat. It's not fair to your leads to, express their pain in public. So I'm going to teach you all the strategy. But I want to ask, what your thoughts are about DMs. Who thinks they're sleazy? Who thinks they're salesy? Okay, who thinks they're spammy? Anyone think they're too AI, ChatGPT? Okay, we're gonna go over all of that today, but I just wanted to pull the room to see what happens. And something else I will also say is this is gonna be a short workshop, y'all. I'm not gonna keep you here for 45 minutes because it's not that complicated. Anyone can do this and anyone can get a sales call. So let's go into it. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. So this is gonna be who came here, who did my workshop last year? Raise your hands. Okay, I'll be proud. Alright, let's talk about it. Okay. Who here does master classes? Oh, okay. So a decent amount of you. So we'll talk about master class. Who here does sales calls? Okay, the majority. Does anyone not do sales calls? Okay, one person. Anyone? I still have a plan for you. So you can do sales calls. No sales calls. Okay. Anyone here have podcast content, anything like that? Okay. So content here. Okay. Does anyone get sales calls and doesn't close them? You don't have a 100% close rate. Okay. Okay. I want you to think about the smartest way for you to use DMs. Can you see it? Yeah. You can feel free to move over there too. But the smartest way for you to use DMs is not for you to use DMs in every single part of your business, but use the DMs where you're failing. So if you have a master class and you're not getting the amount of DMs amount of registrants that you want, DM your registrants. Who has an active master's class or one for Okay, so this is gonna be really interactive. Everyone that's liking or commenting on your post right now, DM them and say hey, I'm having a master class. What's your best email address? That's how you bulk up the amount of master class attendees. Who here has trouble getting sales calls even? Okay, for all of you, I want you to go, this is all really interactive. Go on your cell phone and go to Instagram or whatever platform you're on right now. I'll give you guys a second to get out your platform. Whoever does sales calls, I want you to get out your phone and go on the platform that you post on. Let me know when you guys are ready. Just give me a thumbs up. Okay. We'll give it 15 more seconds for the rest of the room.
Well, I only do sales calls when the launch is open.
Okay. Yeah, so this will still do you guys have a post that you posted recently that's gotten a decent amount of engagement? Give me a thumbs up when you're done. Yeah? Okay, most of the room. I'll give it 10 more seconds. Okay. And then I want you to go into anyone who's liked, engaged, or commented. Pick one person.
So you're going to that post?
You're going to the post that's the most popular on your page, and then you're going to your likes or comments, and picking one person.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Yes? I'm not gonna have you send the DM yet. Yes. Are they private? Go to a public feed. Yeah, anyone who has a public Instagram account. Is anyone confused so far? Feel free to raise your hand. No?
It could be
So
something
they-
on the type of content.
Oh, let's do one at a time. Go ahead.
So it's just the post that has been the most popular in the last
Most
week.
popular.
Okay.
Last year.
Oh,
Doesn't
last
have to be
year.
In the in
Oh,
all
anytime.
2026. Go ahead.
So is it views or likes?
That's
Is it views or likes?
likes. What was your question?
Does it matter the type of content?
No.
Okay.
As long as you can see who liked it and who viewed it.
Okay.
Okay. Let me know when you guys have a post. Yeah, so you need to find a public lead. Give me a thumbs up when you found someone that liked it. Okay. And then who here, while we're waiting, who here has a sales call coming up this week or next week? Raise your hand. Anyone else that has a sales call coming up in the next 30 days? It's already scheduled. Okay. We'll go over that next. Okay. Now, let's go on to the actual implementation part. The more you guys engage, the more money you're going to make right now. So, someone tell me their niche. Anyone, just shout it out.
Relationship, dating.
Okay, so dating, and I heard weight loss. Why people die in the DMs is because it starts with an insult or a pitch, right? Like, hey, I think you need to lose some weight, right? Or hey, you look like you've been single for years. That's sleazy, that's salesy. People are like, oh my god, like they'll block you, right? And most of you have gotten that kind of pitch where you've gotten a DM and they're just pitching you, they're selling you right away. And I say the DMs are like dating. You need to flirt a little bit before you ask for the major pitch, right? So with dating and weight loss, how do you get people to be vulnerable with you? You can't go into the DMs and be like, so how much weight do you want to lose this year? That's way too much. But what you can do is be vulnerable the first message you send. So for whoever said weight loss, right? What's something vulnerable you can tell your audience or you've already posted about? Weight loss? Yeah.
Stress eating.
Okay. So it's like, what you can say in the first message is, hey, I saw you like my post about stress eating. I used to stress eat for 10 years until I figured it out. So you're sharing something extremely vulnerable before you even talk to them. Same thing with dating.
So sharing something personal about me, like
Yes.
I dated someone that was with somebody else type of stuff?
Yes, yeah, so the first message you send them has to be vulnerable, right? You need a point of connection, it's two parts. Part one is your point of connection, like, hey, you like my post. Hey, I saw you at Emancipate or Millionaires of Color, right? That's the point of connection. And number two is you need vulnerability, right? So, hey, I saw you at Millionaires of Color. I saw you like my post about not being with a married man or something like that, right? You're vulnerable. How long have you been on your dating journey? Number three is a question. Okay, let's open up the floor for questions. Feel free to tell me your niche and then we'll create this opening message for all of you. But actually, who here, raise a hand, feels like they can create their own message right now based on this? One. Only like 5% of the room. You guys don't think you can, who here feels like they can't do this right now? Raise their hand.
Can or can't?
Can't, cannot. No, okay. You're not confident about it. Okay, so whoever feels like they can't, right? So if you feel like you can't send this message, raise your hand. Okay,
So first I say, okay, thank you for liking my post
Yeah.
on this.
that's the point of connection.
Right, on this is all one message?
You're gonna split it up.
Split
Let's
it.
write the message first.
Okay,
So thank you for liking my post, then say something vulnerable about yourself.
and then you ask the question
That
regarding,
has to do with your vulnerability.
have you had that happen to you too? Like,
No, it's more like, like dipping your toe in the water. How long have you been dating? Something
Okay.
like that, right?
Okay.
So anyone who raised their hand, let's do a test. So go ahead. Yeah.
So my niece is helping burnt out moms get back to their identity,
Mhm.
before the kids and before, marriage. Thank you for, liking the post, I did one on romanticizing your life.
Okay. What's something vulnerable you could say about yourself? That has to do with the post. So let's say they liked the post about being a burnt out mom. You could say, I was burnt out for like 2 years before I finally got help.
Okay, I can say, so I did about like cooking and how I used to hate doing it, but now when I romanticize it, it's an easier task, so.
Yes.
Yes.
That's it. And then you say like, how long have you been a mom? Something very simple. Like how long, when did you become a mom? Think of the 5 W's. What, when, where, and why, right? So what question can you ask your people? Let's do another case study. Anyone else? Yeah, Rebecca?
So my most popular video is saying, you make a lot of money, but you still feel broke. And so,
Let's put it together. So hey, you liked my post, right?
Uh-huh.
And then what's something vulnerable you could say about yourself?
I was there too.
Yeah, I saw you like my post about making a lot of money. Let's be more specific. The more vulnerable you could be, the higher, the likelihood that someone will apply back will be greater. So what else can you say?
I felt like that for a year.
Great.
Even though I was making 6 figures.
Yeah, and then your question is just like, how long have you been feeling this way? I like asking a numbers question. How long have you been dating? How long have you been feeling this way? How long have you been on your money journey? How long have you been a life coach, right? Ask them how long they've been struggling.
So is this just for a like or a comment?
Either.
So I'm looking at these and it's like, these are like family and friends that are liking all of my stuff and it's, and it's like, they're celebrating me, but it's not necessarily,
They're not real,
I've got a
right?
problem.
They're not
Yeah.
authentic leads, right? Is there anyone in your followers that's not family and friends?
and so I'm just gonna have to go back and look through that
Yeah.
and initiate. So is there a specific, is this a comment that a post I did last year?
Yeah,
That
that's
you
fine.
meant, that I never, there was a like there, but there wasn't.
I will say it like this, you might have heard me say it on stage, but if someone's drowning in the water, how often do they need to yell out help for you to help them? Right? They were drowning last year
Right,
and they were yelling for help. Now you remember, ooh, it's still valid. Their cry for help is always valid. If it was a year ago, 2 years ago, you just have to bring up the point of connection. Hey,
yeah.
I missed this a year ago. Be vulnerable. I was taking a sabbatical. Ask the open-ended question. How is that
Okay.
going? Right? So this is the structure.
So you're using it for likes and comments?
Yes. And for those of you that don't have any likes and comments, you can always just go to the current followers you have and be like, hey, thanks for following me.
Okay.
I've been teaching about, you can ask them, you can create a point of connection. Andrea? Yeah?
Do you have a strategy for story views, like if people are watching your
It's
story?
the same thing. Hey, they didn't like or engage at all. They're just
like watching, cause I'm thinking about the lurkers.
yes, okay, that's the next part.
I know.
So for a point of connection, you can kind of skip this part. You're like, hey, I'd love to learn more about my followers. And then you can say something more vulnerable and ask an open-ended question. Go ahead.
Okay, so my one program, we've had hundreds of people in there, I don't even know who's all in there, like, you know what I mean, like, that's part of it too, like, either, are they in the program currently, have they been in the you know what I mean, because it's a distance, but my upper level, would you say that would be more from the mastermind, where I do know those people, because there's fewer people in there, to kind of connect with that, you know what I mean, because I also don't wanna send someone to like, I already wasn't in the program, or I'm in it now, cause I'm not in that, I have co-coaches in that one now.
I would ask them a question, just so you don't know, you can't tell who's already taken and who's not.
Yeah, going who likes this, have they been in the program, are they currently in there, I don't know, you know what I mean?
I would ask a question to filter it out without directly asking them, like, did you pay me or not? It's just
Yeah.
right? So
Why
it'd
are we
be like,
connected to pay me, right?
yeah, you need to ask in a subtle way. So for example, if I wanna learn how much money someone's making, I don't ask, hey, what was on your tax return last year?
Right.
I'd be like, what do you do for work? Right? It gives me a good idea. Or if I can, for example, a lot of you might have the money objection of like, will they even book a sales call if they can't afford it? There's ways to ask them in the DMs so that you're not being inauthentic, you're still in integrity.
Yeah.
And you can ask in a more subtle way. But for you, I would come up with a question of like, how can you tell if someone paid you or not?
Well, I mean, I'd have to have my VA go back through and through my drive card and everything like that, so would she just be like, would I be like, here's some people I want you to look into, make sure we're connected if we're,
Exactly.
if they're a client or.
You
have
answered
them.
your own questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, who has their message ready?
Oh, you do?
Okay.
You don't need.
You sent it?
Okay.
You sent it? Okay, great. Now the next step is to send the message, guys. Send the message. A lot of you will get a reply today. Like, a lot of you will get a reply within the next hour. Go ahead.
I have mine, would you mind giving me feedback on my
They
message?
replied already?
No, I haven't sent it yet.
Okay, yeah, go
But I
ahead.
wanna make sure I'm hitting
Yeah.
the three appropriately. So I'm a flight attendant career coach, and I said, hi, guys. Thank you for liking my post on flight attendant careers. I remember how hard it was to pivot to another airline and promote for my flight attendant role. How is your flight attendant career journey going?
I would say, how long have you been a flight attendant?
Oh,
Because
that's
when
what
you
I
ask
meant
how
first.
questions, it's too hard.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you feel about dinner tonight?
Yeah.
You know, we're women,
Yeah.
right? Versus, oh, like, do you wanna get dinner in an hour? You need a very pointed question
That's
with
what I
this
had
kind of
first,
stuff.
so perfect, thank you.
Who else sent their message?
I sent a message of like, thanks for following, getting to know, but do I do the getting to know followers all in that same thing?
No, you're right. So anything, if it's longer than 2 sentences, split it up.
Yeah.
If it's longer than 2 lines, send it in the next message. And the psychology is that they get 3 pings, so they're more likely to respond instead of 1 whole paragraph.
You're saying don't wait for their response, I could send these 3
Yes,
things,
yes, yes,
that's what
yes.
I was
Yes.
figuring.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a question, so
Yeah.
can I automate this process and make it still sound like personalized?
If you're able to, I would do it as a human being first, at
Okay.
least, and get 4 sales calls before you automate it. You could do it
Okay.
with ChatGPT or Claude Cowork. Meet me at my booth, cause I've done that for more advanced clients. It's more of an advanced strategy, but you as a human need to master it first before we give it to AI.
No, not necessarily AI, so maybe using like a platform like ManyChat.
Yeah, same
So when I
rule.
make the post and then I send this email.
Exactly, same rule,
Okay.
but we have to master it first so that we don't end up blocked. Like, I would
Okay.
love for you to do it right the first way.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely meet me at the booth and I can talk about ManyChat. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm having trouble with mine. So I'm a executive coach for women, but my post was about joy and like exploring New York City and just go be adventurous. So I'm kind of having trouble connecting, but this is the one that went
Be
viral.
vulnerable about like how you didn't have joy in your executive career. Like,
Okay.
oh yeah, thanks for liking my post. I had a really hard time finding joy in my corporate life. How long have you been in corporate, Dan?
Thank you.
Anyone else that's struggling? Go ahead.
So I'm a coach for web designers and I help them raise their prices to 10K per project. So can I send something like,
What's
Hey,
the
I-
vulnerable part?
it took me like 5 years to charge 10K for my first project.
And then how
sorry.
long have you been a website designer?
Or can I ask how much are you charging or is that too direct?
If I asked you how much money have you made this year
Yeah.
in this group of people,
Yeah.
would you tell me?
Yeah.
Probably not. So I would ease your way into
Okay,
it,
got it.
right? Anyone else that's struggling to send the first message?
Alright, I sent the 3 different pings to a follower, okay, a late follower. So, hey, Carmenta, I appreciate you following me, sis. Next message. There was a time I made really bad decisions in love. I actually dated a guy that turned out to be married. Next message. How long have you been dating?
How long have, I'd love to learn more about you. How long have you been dating? You need to ease into it.
Okay.
Think of it like dating, like the flirty messages, okay? Anyone that hasn't sent the message yet, be brave and raise your hand. Let me know you haven't sent it.
I haven't
Okay,
sent it.
what's stopping you guys from sending a message?
Well, I don't know if are private.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of private.
So this is important.
And do we follow these people?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
love, relationship coaches are gonna fall into private. People are on Instagram because they're having fun. They're not necessarily there to market their business, so their accounts are gonna be private. You can still send them the message, it will just take longer for them to reply back. It's still worth sending the message, you will just be stuck in their request folder for maybe a week. That's all. So for both of these, still send the message. Send the DM. Andrea, like, do you feel like you can't send the DM because they're private?
No, I mean, I guess I can, cause I know that there's like the feature, but, I don't know, it just kind of feels like, this is like, you were intentional about being like, I don't want people to see my stuff, so I don't know if it would be like well received.
What do you mean?
Like their account isn't public, it's private, which is to me like, oh, they're like being intentional about like
Oh,
not.
let me repeat. When I say like you want privacy and intimacy, DMs give you that because no one can see your one-to-one conversation. You might be the only person in the world that they're gonna pour their heart out to and ask about money. They're also adults. They can not respond to your DM. So I would say like imagine if I'm having a party at my apartment, and I'll use you as an example, and you decline like the last 3 invites. Should I just stop inviting you, or should I let you make that decision on your own? So you wanna give off, what?
I was talking about it, like what they.
Well, what if it's
Oh,
a
I asked them.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
But they come to a party before, let's just say. You want the adults to have the agency to make their own decisions, right? Let them say no to you, don't reject them before you even ask. And a lot of the people are private so that they can just use this account to get the help they need. Divorce, sex, money,
Limits, is there a limit to the amount of people before I start getting in trouble?
There's 50. So let me be clear. DMs are like a chainsaw, okay? They can do a lot of damage really quickly. That's why you want to follow the process. And I would take a picture of this. I'll send you guys all the recording. Taking a photo of this, of having a point of connection, being vulnerable, and then asking an open-ended question.
So what if, you're looking at your list, and it's like, I'm making a judgment call on the picture, and it's like, this is kind of, I'm not even sure if this is like,
And skip it. Move on.
cause I don't know any of these, and it's, this one I just clicked on, it was like, this account is private, but I can't even see your picture, and
I would say if they're completely private, no photo, completely blank, skip it and move on to another account. Because they're on there trying to be anonymous, but if you see a real human face, then I would DM them. Go ahead.
What if you want to DM put to the point of just followers? What if I have somebody they were following me from years ago, and then I wanted to kind of reconnect with
How would you talk to a friend that you haven't talked to in years?
It's, hi Logan, it's been a while since we've spoken. I wanted to see how you.
Where can you be vulnerable?
To the message that they sent me last time about their personal
Then you
issue.
can, combine that. Like your person needs help. Like it might have been a year, but it's still valid. They're crying for help.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, if you're nervous about sending any of these, a voice message goes a really long way. If you're in your head about like, what do I say? Just start sending a voice message because that will let it all air out. I'm gonna move on to the next part. I know you guys have more questions. Let's do a final count. Who sent the DM? Okay, a good amount of the room. Those of you who haven't, I want to make sure you send one, and I wanna make sure you get a sales call, but let's move on to the next part and I'll get to questions. Okay, how do you get someone to get on a sales call, right? That's the big question. You basically want them to complain about their life at some level, right? So you all need to ask a question that gets them to tell you about their heartbreak. Once they're in paragraph territory, they're literally pouring their heart. They're like, I have this problem with my marriage. I have this problem with childhood. I have this problem with my career. That's the time where you say, hey, I can help you. Not exactly like that, we'll get to it. Hey, I'd love to help you. Let's get on a call, right? Go ahead.
So I'm thinking about that, how long we've been dating. A lot of people like, well, I'm not dating, right? Like, I hate dating. I don't want to date, but I want a husband. right? You know, so.
Then what's a follow-up question that gets them to pour their heart out to you?
Okay.
An example of that is like, what's stopping you from finding your honey, right? So you turn it back on them. Right, do you have a question?
Oh, I was just wondering, like, does it matter the time frame that they make the comment? Cause I have a lot of people that write paragraphs.
No, it's all valid.
Okay.
They wrote paragraphs to you in the DMs.
No, like in the comments.
Go back to that slide of
That's
like,
like
yeah,
10 weeks ago or something.
it's so valid.
Okay.
Do you think they've solved their problem?
Yeah, for sure.
No, they still need help, so go ahead and DM them.
Okay.
And you can be vulnerable about maybe if you've been MIA for 10 weeks or you've been nervous to send them a message, just be like, hey, I hope this is okay, I'm sending you a voice message, and then talk to them about their problem. Be a little vulnerable and they'll appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else who else has a niche and they're like, what's the next question I ask? Anyone else that has, remind me again, who is like a relationship coach? Money coach? Okay, let's focus on money. What question do you need to ask about money to get them to complain about their problems? What would you ask?
Well, it depends. It depends. If they talk to me, I just meet a random person. So it depends on how the conversation goes. Like, sometimes I ask them, what do you do? And I tell them.
So let's practice. Let's say I've been a consultant. How do you ask me about my money? You can say something like, hey, I'm creating more resources for the community. Are you focusing on debt, investment, saving? And I'm like, none of it. The next question you can ask is, okay, what's stopping you? You just need to ask them, what are your challenges with whatever topic you're working on? So what are your challenges? What are your challenges with dating? What are your challenges with marriage? What are your challenges with career, right? And let them pour their heart out to you so you can get them on a sales call. That's it. It's really simple. And then the last part is, once they tell you, just be like, I'd love to talk to you one-on-one. Here's my calendar. That's it. That is the majority of this class. Like, that's all you need to do. Go ahead.
So I would love to know your story of like the title of your class. How did you land that amount, that dollar amount with the DMs? I would love to hear that.
770K?
Yeah.
Well, this is over 4 years, remember. But
Oh.
that means I've made 6 figures every single year for the past 5 years. How did I do it?
Yeah, like what was your like, oh my god, I know this is the way to do the DMs. Like what was that
I
moment?
talked about it on stage. I refused to go viral because of what I was dealing with in my personal life. So what I did was I was like, how do you make money without doing content? You're literally, it's very rare. Like, even if I put a podcast, I would be risking my safety. Even if I did content, I would be risking my safety. DMs is one of the safest ways for you to make money on the internet without publicly broadcasting yourself.
But don't you have to make a post for somebody to comment in order to DM them to find someone?
I did a lot of faceless posts 5 years ago.
Gotcha, okay.
It was like, my name was there. That's why if you go to my Instagram, it's TheRoshah. My name is Roma, but I use Ro for the longest time just for my safety and security, right?
Gotcha.
But how did I make 770K? I did this myself, and then I started using ManyChat. I hired lead generators, which is a more advanced strategy, to work this for me 5 hours a day. And now they're in the DM sending messages on my behalf.
50 max.
50 max, 50 max. But I do go in as a human being and I send voice messages to get people to the finish line if they need a little bit more nudging. Go ahead.
How many, before you hired and used ManyChat, like, how many message DMs were you sending a day? Was it?
I was sending about like, I only did it for 10 minutes a day. I had a 9 to 5, I was doing my master's full time, and I was in the office right before COVID started. I literally just did it for 10 minutes a day. And I would do it in my car ride while I was waiting in the parking lot for my 9 to 5s to start. So this is just 10 minutes, guys. If you just do 10 minutes a day, you will get a sales call. Go ahead.
So right now, what I'm doing is I'm doing polls. Like if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, vote, and one answer A is like, I'd love to learn more. Answer B is, I have questions. So people will vote on that, and then I start a DM conversation. And I'll be like, hey, like I noticed you wrote on your poll that you're interested in learning one-on-one. Is this a good place to like talk about it? I do that for like an easy option, and they'll like yes. And I'm like, be perfect. They have opted into a conversation. And I'm like, before I share, can you share a little bit more about your challenges? And they share your challenges. And then that's the part where I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's
Do you
exactly
wanna
what
do
I
you
was
wanna put the sales, like that feels really unnatural to me, so that's where I get stuck.
Okay, so your part is the conversion, so after, after they're ranting, right, they already told you their problem, right, and you're like, how do I get them on a sales call? I will send a voice message. This is one of the most crucial times where they're like,
So I do.
this person is pitching me, what do you say in the voice message?
I say, hey, like, this is actually exactly what I work on with my clients. The next step from here, like, I know you've kind of given me a
We're
little
saying
bit.
too much. We're saying
Okay.
too much. We're just like, hey, I totally understand. Vulnerable. Thank you for sharing. I know it's hard to share. Would love to get on a call. That's it. That's all you need to say.
Do they know it's a sales call? Or?
When you send them the link, it should have all your information about the sales call on there. So that they as an adult can make the decision themselves instead of spooking them in the DMs and saying, hey, it's a $10,000 program. Because they're gonna use their caveman brain. All they see in that message is how much it costs, that it's money. They're not even paying attention to how much energy you spent in the DMs trying to help them. So you wanna leave the decision on if they wanna book the sales call to them instead of explaining it all.
But okay, so got it. You're just making more offers for people to directly say yes or no to your sales call.
Yes, exactly. And that's why you're tripling your sales call. And then everyone's an adult, they can make a decision on if they wanna book or not.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
helpful. Thank you.
In the back, yeah.
With the sales call, so do you feel like more qualified leads, in terms of qualification of leads, do you feel like when you qualify them through this process and get them on sales calls, sometimes it's not a good fit?
So that's the next part. Anyone that has a sales call upcoming in the next 30 days, right? There's the time between when they book a sales call and when you get on one. I recommend at least a 3-day buffer. So let's say they book the sales call today. What day is it? It's Saturday. Yeah. Let's say they book the sales call today, but the actual call happens on Tuesday. Instead of just doing nothing, you need to keep talking to them and ask them qualifying questions so that they actually show up and they don't ghost you. This is one of the biggest problems that happens when you DM people like this, is they will ghost you because they were talking in the DMs and then you forget about them. It's like a one-night stand. You try to get them on a date and then you don't talk to them for like 3 days leading up to the date, right? You need to keep building rapport so they actually show up to the call. So to qualify them, you need to ask those qualifying questions after your call. And your sales call link needs to change to be qualified. Go ahead.
How much time do you spend doing that process? Like, I mean, I guess you have 50 DMs at a time in your DMs?
I only do 10 minutes, so
How many is that?
it's however fast you
Fast
get.
you type.
So like when I first started,
Yeah,
right?
that
It took me 10 minutes to send one DM because I was freaking out, I was sweating, right? Now I could send like 20 in 10 minutes because I just send a couple voice messages and go. You have to practice, right? So, and for how many DMs you send between the time they book and the actual sales call, 1 to 2 voice messages. That's it.
What do you say?
I'd be like, hey, I'm so excited for the call. Want to ask more questions about like your form or whatever they filled out on the sales call form. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I think I've actually worked with Roma before.
We booked a lot of sales calls.
Yeah, a lot. But when she first sent me a sales call, I thought it was a fraud. It was so unreal. So I was big. So I went to her page, there was nothing there. I think what sold me was when she sent me a DM and she constantly communicated with me. And that's how I signed up. I booked a sales call and she got me as a client.
Yeah, because I didn't treat it like
I didn't mean a lot.
I didn't treat it like a one-night stand, right? I didn't like let Nina go and be like, okay, you're not, bye forever, right? I kept the relationship up. And it's very similar to what they said on stage. You need to nurture your leads. All the people that follow you love you at some level. They respect you. You are their version of Beyonce, right? If you reach out to them, they are going to be honored. They're like, this money coach, this sex coach, this life coach, this career coach sees me. Oh my God, they're paying attention to me. It's an honor to get a DM from you. And I want you to think it's also luxury. If you go to any luxury boutique, any designer boutique, if the fashion designer reaches out to you, that's an honor.
Right. I didn't even know you were really
Exactly.
There's nothing on her page.
Exactly. But now you know my story. I didn't want to post content, but you need to send that one-on-one communication to everyone.
When I heard your voice, I was like, oh, it's a new
The voice messages, exactly, and the time between when you book a sales call and when you actually get on one, send a DM, let them know you're a human being, let them know you care about them. But
Can the nurturing happen through email?
it can definitely happen through email, but they might not show up to the call, because they don't feel special. That email was sent out to everyone. So the personalization is gonna get them to show up, and it's a more advanced strategy, so we can definitely talk about it. There's a part 2 to this workshop that talks about like, if people ghost you on the sales call, what exactly to say during this buffer time.
Where you at, sis?
Yeah. But you don't want it to get to that point, right? You want them to DM them and be like, I'm so excited to get on the call with you. That's how you want them to feel. Any other questions that are?
So,
Go.
I did like, I'm a real estate coach, and I sent a voice note, she replied to my story, I sent a voice note, and then I sent her another DM, and then she ghosted me. It was about joining my mastermind, and.
That's why she goes.
But no, the story was about joining, like, it was about my mastermind, she's like, oh sis, what is this? And then when I sent her a voice note, I said,
You explained what was in the
explained, but it was already explained the story.
No, people freak out in the DM. You do not want to mention anything about money or sales. You want to say like, great, let's talk about it on a sales call. Get them to the sales call as fast as possible.
And then I reminded her, like, do you still want to do webinars? I know that was important to you. Ghosted.
All I would say is restart the conversation. Go back to vulnerability and asking a question about her. Never, ever, ever mention your offers, the details of your offers in the DMs, because then it turns salesy. Then it's like, okay, they're just using me to make money. It's okay, you can definitely unsend, but you never ever want to give the details of your offer in the DMs, because that's when it turns salesy and sleazy, because suddenly it goes from a back and forth communication to, okay, time for the money, give me my money. And that's why you always want to give them a sales call instead of pitching right in the DMs. Now, if you don't do sales calls, there was one person here that doesn't do sales calls.
Oh,
You don't
yeah.
do sales calls, right?
No, I do VSLs, like video,
VSLs.
quick video, so.
Yeah, so then for you, it's gonna be more personalized emails because you get their email through VSL, right?
No, I give them I basically create content and have them DM me, and then in the DMs,
Oh, so you.
I basically host a sales call like in the DMs back and forth.
So you gotta figure it out.
Yeah, and then I just send them the link to the video and then tell them if they wanna move forward, they can let me know.
Go ahead. Okay, anyone, who sent the DM? Okay, anyone that books a sales call today, just send me a screenshot and I'll give you the prize. But
Send you a screenshot where?
send me the screenshot to my Instagram, the Rosha, yeah. And you'll get free breakfast tomorrow. Yeah, but please, my goal for all of you is get at least one reply. And if you don't know what to say next, feel free to hit me up. And if you sign the worksheet, I literally have the template of exactly what to say in your meeting. So it doesn't sound like me, it sounds like
One question, so like I said, I only do sales calls very little, but most of it's trying to a program that doesn't need it for that amount. So, how would you use that besides just driving them? Because I usually, if I'm using DMs, it's to drive them to the webinar, right? So would there be any other way or any other?
But you don't want more sales calls, right?
No. Well, I mean, not for that one, no, I don't do sales calls
Then
for that program.
this is a little bit more advanced, but you need to change what information you're getting on the registration page for the launch, so you could DM them and make sales that way. So if you ask like, how much money do you make on the webinar form, then you could DM them after asking them questions about it.
So after they've already registered to the webinar, then I would reach out to
It's
them?
on the registry, yeah, after they register.
Okay, so then it's just like a nurturing.
Yes, you need to nurture them and I would give it to your PA.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Yeah, I used to use Bonjoro, where we do like a video for everyone who came to the webinar, and it didn't really
Videos don't
convert
really
very
work.
well.
Voice messages are the way to go.
Okay.
So if you see me at my booth, I'll tell you like the 5 voice messages you need to send after a webinar.
Okay.
It's a little bit more advanced, yeah. But yeah, ladies, you're going to get a sales call. Many people last year got a sales call from this exact thing. People are going to reply, just give it an hour or two, and then when you get a reply, the most important thing is ask them a question about their problems so they can tell you about their heartbreak. That's it. It's very simple. This is not rocket science. I will say DMs are a chainsaw, so if you're confused confused about this process, make sure you sign in, you get the recording, but then all my rules about what to do, what not to do, please do not ChatGPT this, because ChatGPT cannot mimic your human empathy. It cannot be us. It was made by white guys. It's not gonna have like empathy like women of color do, so that's why voice messages are really, really important. Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you have any traits that you follow when it comes to like how many to send a day or how many should I look for or try to get to? Any goals around it?
10 minutes. If you could get faster in 10 minutes a day, so if you sent one today in 10 minutes and 10 next week in 10 minutes, you're getting faster. You're growing. Go ahead.
Where will you insert the voice note? Can you just remind me, can you clarify?
If they're not responding.
Okay.
If they're not responding, you send a voice
So I
note.
sent the initial 3, and then just wait, and if they're not responding, send them a voice.
Wait 24 hours.
Yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
good, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Any other questions?
The 24-hour voice message, right? So we didn't book a sales call yet. We want to follow up. So am I saying, so hey girl, I was asking about your day. Like, what am I
That's really good.
I want to get to
That's
know
really
you.
good. So if you need to say that. You need to say the exact same thing you said in text, but in voice message. Hey, just want to make sure, so you can put a voice to the text. I'm a human. You can say that. Be funny about it. Just be like, I want to hear from you. Like, what's up with your dating life? I wouldn't say that.
So 24 hours. So it's 24 hours after you send the DM?
If they leave you on scene, if they like it, then yeah, send a voice message.
Okay, if they haven't responded at all, then no.
If they don't see it, that means they're just not on Instagram. It might be a dead account. Yeah. But the biggest thing take away from this is the best thing you could do for all your followers is talk to them. They all want to hear from you. And it's a little bit of ego if you feel like I'm too good to send DMs, because your people really need to hear from you. It will be such an honor, and it's a luxury for them to get a DM from you. It showcases luxury service. Any other questions? Oh. It's all when you sign up for the worksheet, you're gonna get the recording and then all my trainings about this. Yeah, so you got it. Who is the sign up form?
If you have not signed, could you raise your hand so I can get to you? Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm really excited. Go get your sales calls, and please remember, do not use ChatGPT. I'd rather you send a voice message saying anything else than asking ChatGPT. And then for those of you that book sales calls, definitely message me with the receipt, and I'll make sure you guys get your prizes. You know what? Changes.
Okay, I'm just gonna check.
I'm just sitting.
Right? You gotta How do you say your last name?
Do you have the sign-in? Okay. This is why you're wrong. Sade. I think. Do you have the sign-in? Sorry? The sign-in?
Oh, the sign-in. Oh, you do? You're gonna need it for the next session though.
Yeah, but she did sign it. Help you? Oh, did you sign it?
I put my
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're here for the next session.
I'm here for the next session.
No, I didn't sign it.
know, I was like,
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
So again, the focus piece is, so it's like if I show don't prep, use it as inspiration.
Yeah, I was like in the bathroom, I was like, this is part of the process. This is part of the process. Sitting in the back, I was like, the only silver lining was like, thank God these toilets are not automatic because that would really feel nasty.
Is everything okay?
Oh no, I had a good cry in the bathroom, which was great.
Okay.
No, crying. I love to
already
cry.
gave her-
Crying is good
it's
for your
healing.
health.
It's
Like
healing.
I love to cry. Crying is good. It's better than just kind of sitting there frozen and stuck. And like people are like, "Are you okay?" And you're literally bursting, and you're like, "I'm fine."
Right. Was it like the content was a lot? I mean, in terms of the content.
No, it's that it was like, oh, it was so simple to me. Well, this is what you should like your content, like just content, like this is how you position your content. And I was just like, sitting there 5 minutes. I've been doing this so long, and I couldn't even like I couldn't do it myself. And I was like, because they're an expert in their thing.
Hold on,
And I,
you did do it yourself. Because you got yourself all the way here into that moment where it turned on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The way you do it yourself is going to be different for everybody. So some people are going to sit in their room with a computer, ChatGPT, and then they're going to get it. Some people are going to read 10 books.
Yeah.
Some people are going to go to 10 conferences. You are going to work it and then take this path to come to a conference and then get it.
yeah.
This was your turning point.
Yeah.
So you did do it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, no, last year I was the main content person, so I was not sitting, yes.